everybody. This is Jeff Sutherland, and welcome to another edition of Jeff's Star Talk Show. We're here on location at the Stanislaus County Fair in Turlock, California, to give you an introduction to our show tonight based on little people. That's right. Remember Irwin Allen's early TV show called Land of the Giants that ran on ABC in the late 60s, early 70s? Well, that's our focus tonight. We have three original cast members, Don Matheson, Don Marshall, and the beautiful and talented Deanna Lunn. So don't miss this episode of Jeff Star Talk, where we focus on little people or giant people, depending on your point of view, right here on Jeff Star Talk. And let's start it off with a regular cast member, Don Matheson. Take it away. Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Sutherland, and welcome to another edition of Jeff Star Talk. We're here on location at the beautiful Beverly Garland for another classic Mickey Sonardi Showstopper Star Spectacular, a big celebrity event. A lot of stars are here, including this gentleman here to my right. Been a fan of his for many years, and I enjoyed all the things he's done, especially the ABC show, Land of the Giants, and one of the stars of that show, Don Matheson. Don, thank you for coming over.
Jeff,
man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Don, I tell you, now these collector shows, I've seen you at a couple before, and I never had a chance to interview you. What do you think of these kind of shows? I mean, they're kind of fun to see, like a reunion a little bit?
I was just going to say that's the most pleasant aspect. They're not always really successful. But
I know that. It's a little slow right now, but I tell you, Mickey does a lot of hard work getting this thing together with all these big celebrities.
Yeah, but you get to see people you haven't seen for years.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
And Don's right now sitting with two of his co-stars, the lovely Deanna Lunn, who you know well.
Oh, yes.
And Don Marshall. And that show, I have to say, I was really disappointed because that show should have run on and on and on, but 2 seasons wasn't enough. That's a great show.
Well, actually, it would have gone longer. It was just too expensive to do.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
At the time.
Yeah. ABC did the same thing with the time tunnel.
Yeah, and also we were doing it at 20th Century Fox at the same time that Cleopatra was putting them in the ground.
Oh, that's right.
They almost went broke.
Put them in the can, didn't it? Yeah.
So they didn't have a lot of money to throw around.
That's a good statement. I never heard that, but that's true. Yeah.
At that time, our show was $250,000 an episode.
No kidding.
And which at the time was
very much
astronomical.
Very much.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he did a master of 4 great shows, and I think Land of the Giants and the Time Tunnel was probably my 2 favorites. I did like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea quite a bit. Now, you were in several of those other ones too. You made an appearance in Voyage, also Lost in Space.
I played a fish.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
Played a fish in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and I mean from head to foot.
I know, I've seen that episode.
Greatest billing I ever had. My name filled the screen. You know, I said, "Oh my God!" And a very erudite fish, I must say. They gave me. Richard Basehart said the first time I opened my mouth, he was taken aback. And he said, "My God, I thought there was a stuntman in there. This guy knows what he's doing."
Great makeup. And also you did an alien in Lost in Space.
I did Lost in Space twice. I played what I called a very pale Indian, and the sky is falling. And also I played a character called Idak.
That's the one I remember.
The instant destroyer and killer that everybody knows and loves. Walked around saying, "Crush, kill, destroy."
That's right.
Had nightmares for weeks afterwards.
No kidding.
No, I just said, I cannot. Anytime you start feeling a little big for your britches, you can look back on something like that and say,
No, you guys.
It keeps you real.
Now, you guys as actors, and I know Guy Williams and June Lyle, you guys are doing these characters in Lost in Space. What did you really think of them? Because you were putting all this makeup on and all this stuff, and you go, what kind of a role is this?
I just would get in a zone, and say that in for a penny, in for a pound. I signed on to do this. Whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do it.
Now, your role in Land of the Giants, you played. You kind of have a little thing going with the Gary Marshall. I mean, not Gary Conway. And you guys had a fight a couple of times, and you had disappear. And I like that. I really did, because to me it was realistic.
Yeah.
Because here's 7 people that's landing on this planet or whatever, and you guys had a disagreement, and that's realistic to me.
Well, my character was a self-made billionaire.
Right.
And I had companies all over the world, and was on his way to one in London when we crashed in the Land of the Giants. But so to take orders from somebody else wasn't easy to do.
And I picked up on that.
Yeah.
And that was real. Now, who decided to do that? Was it all scripted, or
No,
was it?
we sort of agree to disagree a lot.
Yeah. You and Conway are great. You bounce off to each other. Now, on the physical side, Tom, how much of that stuff did you guys have to do physical?
Most of it.
You talk about stuntman.
Well, we had stuntmen come in and show us how to do it.
Wow.
And then we did, because at one point, I remember there was one episode, we came in and we were supposed to climb something.
Yeah, grappling hook or whatever.
Yeah, and we looked around, our stuntmen weren't there. And they said, you guys can do that. You've done it before.
Wow.
We said, no, we're not putting those guys out of work. So we just would not do it.
Sure.
So they called the stuntmen in, the stuntmen did it, and then we went in and did it on top of it.
Yeah, I see. That made it look, because it looked like you guys were actually,
We did it.
Yeah, it did look like.
Yeah, and and for the fight scenes and stuff like that, we'd have the stuntmen go in and do it, and they'd film them do it, and we'd watch them, and then we'd emulate them to make sure we didn't get hurt.
It was realistic, and then the fights you did with Gary, it was realistic also.
Yeah.
Of course,
A little too realistic sometimes.
Yeah, really?
Oh,
Did you get hurt?
Oh, we both did.
No kidding. And you both guys look physical. You look like you're well,
We were all in great
and then also Marshall also. I mean, you guys are. Now the only cast member is no longer with us is the actor who played Fitzgerald.
Third cast member.
Yeah. The rest of all the cast are doing all right.
Yeah.
It was a great show. Now, did you always want to become an actor? No.
No, I wanted to be the best jazz drummer in the world, but I had to.
Okay, that's how you do that.
I had to wait. I had to wait out. Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich were my idols. Got to meet them both. Became a friend of Buddy's, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Made a lot of appearances on the Johnny Carson show. Too.
Yeah. And I finally realized that at a later age that in order to make a living as a jazz drummer, I was getting too late to start.
Well, you're an excellent actor. And then you also, I guess you did a lot of your own stunts.
Yeah.
Now, what is a studio like ABC or 20th Century Fox would say something about, hey, we don't want these guys to get hurt? I mean, they get hurt. Because I think Marshall told me he did get hurt where they had missed a few.
Yeah.
And now, did that happen to you where you broke an arm? Or?
We had seven cast members.
Yeah.
So any one of us could go in and they just write you out.
Oh, okay.
Do it.
All right.
One time I was running across a giant fish net on the studio floor, and my toe caught it. I slammed to the ground. Before I got up, my forearm had swollen to twice its size.
Oh my God!
So they wrote it in somehow, and I'm walking around with ice and a sling on.
That is great.
Yeah.
Well, you got fans, and I'm one of them. What are you doing now, Don, that the fans could see you in?
A little writing and just hanging around.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm really pleased that you did our show, and I'm really happy about Land of the Giants. Maybe a movie, because Star Trek and all these other. They did a Lost in Space movie. They did all these movies. Why not a Land of the Giants? Because it was a short-lived series, 2 seasons on ABC, and for whatever reason, I think you guys had good ratings at the time too.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it was on Sunday night. I remember. A wonderful show, and I want to thank you for coming over.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Don Matheson, everybody. God bless you. I don't know if we can top Don, but hey, we're going to try. Stay tuned for more right here in North Hollywood. Mickey Sonardi, Showstopper.